So if you've played Project Zomboid, you know that the map is pretty big. When I first started playing, I thought this little town here was the entire map, until I zoomed out and I saw how little of the map I'd actually explored. But how big actually is the map? Is it like 5 miles, 15 miles, 500 miles? Who knows? Well, today we're going to be using some very questionable methods to find out how long the Project Zomboid map actually is. But before we start, if you guys want to help support this channel, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below how long you think the Zomboid map actually is, and at the end of the video we can see how close or far off you were. Alright, so now let's get into it. So earlier in this video, I said I'll be using some questionable methods to find out the length of the map. Well, I say questionable methods, but most of you guys will probably just call them stupid methods. But the methods I'll be using are this tape measure, this car, this other car, and this building. So me being the genius that I am, I decided I'm going to measure my car's length, and this car in the game looks about the same size, so we can assume that my car's length will be about the same as this car's length. Now you may be starting to understand why I said these methods are kind of questionable / stupid. So my car is 13 feet long, so we can assume that this car is also around 13 feet long. So now we use this car's length to determine the length of this building. And once we figure out how long the building is, we can figure out how long these grids are. And once I find out how long the grids are, I can pretty easily figure out how big the map is. Unfortunately, however, the Zomboid map is weird. It isn't just like a nice square or circle or some other normal shape. It's like in the shape of like a really weird bird or something, I don't know. So instead of just going from one corner to the other, I'm gonna have to like zigzag around the river, and it's gonna be a little weird, but should be fine. Which isn't really that hard to work around. I gotta just measure the length of the grids and the diagonal length, so I don't even know why I'm complaining about it. I think I might just be lazy, honestly. Alright, now we have a plan figured out, so let's start measuring. So the car is 13 feet long, so to measure the length of the building, I'm going to be using this very scientific method of parking my car next to it, putting a piece of clothing where the car ends, and then driving forward to see how many times my car will fit next to the building. So after doing this, my car seems to fit 3.5 times, so we just multiply 3.5 times the length of the car, which gives us 45.5 feet, and now we have the length of the building. Now we know that the building is 45.5 feet long, and now I just need to find the length of these grid squares. So using my trusty ruler here, I can see that the building is about ½ inch long, and the grid square is 8 inches long. So that means that the building fits into the grid 16 times, then we just multiply the length of the building, 45.5 feet times 16, and we get 728, so the grid square is 728 feet long, and now I just gotta do the same thing, but measure it diagonally. Isn't this fun? You clicked on this video wanting to see how big the map is, and now you gotta listen to me talk about multiplying and shit. Well, don't worry, we're almost through the boring part, so we can finally get to see how big the map is. So diagonally it's about 11 inches long, so we just do the same thing. Multiply the blah blah blah, carry the blah, do the blah blah math things, and we get 1001 feet diagonally. Okay, so now we're done with that, so now we just gotta count the grid squares and add up all the feet. And wow, that is a lot more grid squares than I thought. Okay, oh god. So how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna count diagonally until we hit the river, and then I'm gonna start counting horizontal, and then we go back to diagonal again, and yeah, we'll just figure it out from there. Alright, so I counted 50 squares, 31 diagonal, which should be 31,031 feet, and 19 not diagonal, which should be 13,832 feet, and then we just add those two up to get 44,863 feet, which ends up being 8.49 miles, but to make it easier, we'll just round it to 8.5 miles. And look at that, we actually figured it out. I was expecting this to be a lot harder for some reason, and honestly, it probably should have been. I used some really questionable methods to get my answer, but hey, we got it. Now obviously there was a good amount of guessing and estimating here, so the actual number may be a little off, but I think we got somewhere in the ballpark. Anyways, yeah, there you go. The map is about 8.5 miles long. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.